fortunately here, Jim. So Nathan up top at 7-3, and Matthew down below at 7-3 as well. And I mean, what can we say about Nathan? Nathan had one of the craziest streaks I have ever seen in my life. These were the first two pro events that I commentated as well as his world championship, and the next event where he won a pro tour as well. I mean, and then top 8'd the one after that. I mean, you just don't see that anymore in modern day Magic.
I just wanted to throw in that Nathan made it into top 4 of Worlds over tiebreakers over me. I came in 5th, but it's not actually relevant to the situation, I suppose. But
yeah,
I just needed to put that information in there. So
it could have been Nathan next to me and you.
It could have been mine.
Right
it should have been mine. Give it to me.
This is classic Jim. Like, I would have went all pro if it wasn't for my knees giving out here in college. All right, getting into the game here, we have Prof's Eidetic Memory into Steam Score Scholar. Say that 10 times fast, I dare you.
Nope.
And on the other side, here we have our 2 lands into the card name itself, or the name of the game here, Weapons Manufacturing. Walk us through exactly what this card does in this deck.
So it's 2-mana enchantment. Whenever you get a non-token artifact, you get a munitions token. This is a token that actually does nothing. It is a blank token that says when this dies, you deal 2 damage to any target. So by itself, this card doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It makes these tokens and it can't use them for anything. But when you get the machine going here and find ways to sacrifice them, you have a bunch of free shocks laying around, and also synergy. It's just extra artifacts in play, so it turns on your enablers. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg's machine, Rubik's Cube kind of deck, which is really, really cool. Really important to have this card on turn 2 and kind of get the balls rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. This card is really, really sweet. I'm a huge fan, so... All right, then we are discarding just the Into the Floodmaw, boosting this up to 4 power. Very common play pattern here.
Yeah, so
from this deck.
4 is a good number because the deck has Legion Extruder that deals 2, Chainsaw deals 3. There are, there's the gunship which can deal some damage or whatever. But the big one in this deck that I really like is the Duskrose Reliquaries. These are 1-mana artifacts that can exile anything by sacrificing an artifact, making use of the tokens from manufacturing.
Yes.
And also it's a thing you can pod into by sacrificing a tokens because it costs 1.
Okay.
So there's only 2 in the deck, but it feels like there's a lot more than that.
Yeah, there is kind of 6 in that regard there. Plus there's a lot of 1-ofs here kind of across the board. You see Perilous Snares that you can repurposing Bay for, and that really is like the 2025 Birthing Pod. The most cards get a little bit stronger as time goes by. Birthing Pod had to get a little weaker. That card was a little too good. So huge turn here from our world champion here, Mako into Tursa. And I mean, the pressure is on here, Jim.
That's discarding a Vivi and a Stories, too.
That's just the dream.
Yeah, this is what this deck is just so good at. Like, we think of Cauldron, we think of Vivi, but these sort of just stompy draws, there's just so much power and toughness in play.
I mean, it's just incredible. And this was on a mulligan to 5? Okay. Sweet.
I had forgotten that part.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, the thing that I love about Cauldron is you have your best possible draw. Your nut draw of Mako into, either Cauldron or FOMO. FOMO discarding Vivi into do the Vivi stuff on turn 3. That's your best possible draw, but Mako into Profs into Tursa is just great. As long as you can assemble 2 out of your 3 turns that are good turns, your deck is extremely powerful,
Yeah, and my concern here is that this sort of stats board, where just a lot of big numbers, does line up pretty well against Matthew's removal. A lot of Torch to Towers and smaller kind of damage. Here we go. Awesome. So there's the Reliquaries, so now we're cooking.
But yeah, I mean, this could have been so much better, if one of those creatures had 2 power. Maybe we still have the ability to get rid of the other one to finish off the Scholar here. And, I mean, if you can go to any target, we probably are, right?
Here it is. All right.
Oh, my goodness. This gets all the creatures.
Fantastic. So, Reliquary, like I was saying, so important here to kill those big creatures. And then you can tag team up, use the manufacturing tokens, and get it done.
Just like we were saying, Jeskai Weapons Manufacturing, as long as you can curve out and go 1, 2, 3, it's the best deck in the format, not close.
That is so impressive because
that was awesome.
Nathan's draw was unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And this was, a couple cards here and there. We still have a synergy. The Reliquary sacked a token and made a token. So there were 2 shocks from tokens, the Torch Tower 3 damage, and the Reliquary killing a big thing.
And now this is 5 mana, draw 3, discard 1 or 2. And that is, Nathan really put on the brakes here. Nathan did discard his last 2 cards to Tursa there to be able to boost up the creatures as much as possible, plus just see new cards. Winter Night Story and VV in the yard is already awesome anyways. But now if you just draw bad cards off that, a couple of lands, maybe a Mako, some minor things like that, all of a sudden, your deck looks a lot different.
Yeah, and you don't want to give Matthew's deck time to get set up.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube kind of deck where when the pieces start going, they really start going.
Yes.
Lots of tokens, the pods start doing crazy things, and it's fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of we were talking last round, about Dana starting at these tournaments and kind of getting really, really good results as she went on. And, this was Nathan a long time ago at Grand Prix. He was just a little guy that was playing these tournaments and doing really well at 14, 15, and then went on to have the career he could have. It was really fun to watch that evolution right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it ain't over yet, though, folks.
Yeah, absolutely, because here is the combo. Cauldron and a FOMO here, discarding a card, being able to then Cauldron off of Vivi here.
This is a Torch Tower check. Does
Yeah.
Matthew have the Torch to clean this thing up, or is Nathan going to be able to start making a ton of mana, drawing a ton of cards? Discard an island. And this is, you can see Nathan's going in the how much mana, how many cards do I have headspace, which is not a great place to watch your Is It a Cauldron opponent be.
Yes. No, not really at all.
Ooh, nice island. All right. So Nathan's going to use the profs first, which I love.
Yeah.
Get that first counter on, get it out of torch range, and actually not going to use the Cauldron either, signifying there isn't much to do.
Yeah, no mana, and why put Vivi under the Cauldron if it then gets exiled? Then you have to reassemble Vivi in the yard and Cauldron. So smart play by Nathan, but also signifies he's got nothing right now.
Yeah, that storage was the only storage in the graveyard, right? So
yeah, it was.
So just not, and this is what I was saying in the last match, where like there are times where you assemble Vivi Cauldron and just don't have much to do. Legion Extruder.
Legion Extruder
EDB,
coming on down.
EDBs to deal 2. So 2 from that and 2 from the munitions could put 4 damage to the FOMO, but of course then the Cauldron could be activated in response and put that 5th point of toughness on there. So a little posturing here from both players.
Yep, absolutely.
The thing is with that pod in play, with the, I keep calling it pod, I apologize. The repurposing bay, I'll get with the times. That Cryogen Relic can turn into a Perilous Snare, which is the Oblivion Ring effect.
Yep.
Basically, anything can be anything. Any card.
It could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat. So there are a ton of options available for Matthew, and we're gonna see that right now.
Yeah.
All right. So now this is actually pretty important. Dust Rose Reliquary can not only target creatures, it can also target artifacts.
There we go. We were just making sure that Mako got exiled there. That was a Torch to the Tower a little earlier.
Ooh, that's the Torch too? Wow.
Ooh.
And the Spell Pierce.
Okay.
This is what we came to see here on day 2 of this tournament, folks.
Absolutely. So now we are one big draw step from Nathan from being able to find like a Winter Night Stories and really pop off, Well,
don't get ahead too far. There's still a sacrifice on the stack of the munitions going to get a Dust Rose Reliquary,
okay,
which can then hit the FOMO or more likely the Cauldron.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was a really cool turn.
That was really cool.
Matthew holding back the Torch Tower, Nathan having the Spell Pierce. Oh, this is peak open tournament Magic, right?
Yes.
You have former world champion Pro Tour player playing the best deck. We have a player bringing an awesome homebrew, just walks in the door, and here he is on camera, day 2, playing for top 8, playing for Pro Tour invites, playing one of the coolest decks in the room. You couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Really is what these spotlight events are really about.
Yep.
And it's been just so cool seeing all these players that we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, Nathan Steuer's in Nathan Steuer's cam there. Antino Del Rosa is a player we saw when we were coming up on the circuit and stuff.
Yep.
And so seeing him back at it and in the feature match area is really awesome.
All right, so going to go after the FOMO for the Reliquary, not the Soul Cauldron. Can we get confirmation on the Reliquary that it can target artifacts? I'm pretty sure it can, but I would like just a double check.
I think it can as well. Exile target artifact or creature, so we definitely can.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah. All right, so FOMO number 2 comes on down. A great draw. A great draw. We played our land, so Nathan was just kind of flooded out.
Yeah, and now VV Cauldron is available. That was a big exchange. Again, still tons of things happening on Matthew's side. Matthew is at 7, so...
Yeah, Nathan really, that's the thing, though, is Nathan really needs that Tursa to push through damage, needs something to really get it going here. Maybe, a Quantum Riddler is still like the best draw for Nathan to just start really churning through cards. It almost always is in these late game scenarios.
Yeah, Nathan doesn't really have a lot to do.
No, not really.
And Matthew has a lot to do.
Yeah.
Purposing Bay in play, a huge variety of mana costs in play. A Relic's a great thing to sacrifice. The Legion Extruder can make some tokens. There's 2 munitions there to work on. There's a lot of stuff all available.
Yep, absolutely. All right, counter on. But yeah, once again, just nothing to do.
Yeah, so Matthew can sacrifice the Cryo Relic to get the Perilous Snare.
Yeah.
Can sacrifice, the Phantom Train can be a part of this in a turn or two to actually close things out. Once the Bay is in play, this deck has the ability to kind of just put together whatever it wants to. As long as it has the time to set up, as long as it has time to get these things in play, there is certainly a level of setup, but that has mostly been achieved here by Matthew.
Let's see. Big turn here from Matthew. All right, sacking another one of these. Deal 2 to the FOMO. Be able to get something from the deck. And we'll see what we can find. All right, VV exiled here to put an extra counter on. And, wow, yeah, heads-up play there from Nathan to do that proactively for sure.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder if once Nathan does that, you should even bother getting the vacuum.
Yeah.
Matthew could have went and gotten, I guess, mostly just Enigma Jewel. But
Yeah,
the only
we're
other
kind of
proactive-
out of those targets, right?
The Jewel's cool. The Jewel's like the Soul Ring that can only be used for abilities.
Yeah.
Still pretty nice thing to have access to. But vacuum to stop future things, and now I suppose that Nathan's going to get a turn here with Cauldron, depending on what Matthew has in hand.
Yeah.
But next turn we can see the Bay, sack the Relic and go get the Perilous Snare, take that Cauldron out.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can just take a couple permanents here. But, the one thing I'm noticing from Matthew's deck without the very powerful 3-drop to make constructs is how do you win the game here? It is seeming a little more difficult to actually close the door.
So the big one's Phantom Train.
Okay.
Realistically, you just kind of pile up these munitions. You kind of kill a bunch of stuff. There's also the Extruder makes 3/3s. There's a couple Gleaming Gear Drakes. The big one is Phantom Train, but the Extruder is quite good.
Yeah.
It turns every munitions into a shock and a 3/3 for 2 mana, which is quite powerful. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the one squeak of this game, we're trying to get the judges' attentions here. There is a Mako that should have been exiled a lot earlier from that Torch the Tower. And that is the only creature in the yard, so it hasn't come up. Okay, there is one other creature, so it hasn't fully come up yet. But if it does get exiled through the Cauldron, that of course shouldn't exist. So we're working on it.
All right, so Floodmaw, bounce the Duskrose Reliquary. FOMO comes down, get to draw another card. Little fish down there joining the munitions. Little fly down there. Saying hi to Tursa.
There we go. All right, so profs, draw an extra card. Legend rule, get that to the yard, getting closer to Delirium.
Yeah, this is the turn. where Nathan's got to make it happen here. That's
okay.
That's a big one.
That is the biggest one. All right, that is from the VV mana. And here we go.
Now, it's important to note that so this card has the flashback on it, the Harmonize, I apologize. And as long as Nathan immediately goes to flash this back and cast it, there'll be no priority window for Matthew to use the Ghost Vacuum.
Yep, and you gotta.
If Nathan takes any other action, the window is open for Vacuum to eat that, which is so important right now.
Yeah, 100%. And Nathan's no slouch, going to do that for sure, but it is just which one do you want to tap? And if you tap the one FOMO to Harmonize, then the other FOMO can attack. And see what's up. It can attack, untap the other FOMO, and then that FOMO can attack again, untap the other. So you could still take 3 combats, even if you have to Harmonize one to tap it.
Yes. So there is the Extruder in play, which with 2 mana available can tap, sack, make a 3/3, which can block. But with Matthew at 7, this is looking a bit precarious.
Yeah, very precarious indeed. Discards 2 land, and let's see. This looks like a flashback. Oh, are we not flashing back immediately? Casting another one.
I mean, this is Nathan saying, I don't want to tap my creature, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be able to get him for a big Delirium attack.
And now we are going to see the classic Delirium with profs, where each time you attack, you get a bigger and bigger creature. So now what Nathan is going to try to line up is trying to get Delirium through a Ghost Vacuum. So load up 5 types and kind of prevent that from Ghost Vacuum having any kind of impact. And there's another profs, and yes, the after game 1 handshake, and Nathan's going to take that one down. So the way that was going to unfold, each combat you were going to get 8 counters, and you were going to get 3 attack phases. So 8 times 3 plus the 6 power that we already had to get it going. So
what is it, Corey? How much is that?
It's math. It's math. Yeah. All right, so looking at the sideboard here, we're going to start from Matthew's side. From the weapons manufacturing side, we have 3 Annul, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Ghost Vacuums, 2 Into the Flood Maw, 1 Litho Breaking. I have no idea what that card does. 3 Negate, and then 2 3 steps ahead. What are we bringing in?
Annul's pretty nice here,
Oh, yeah, that's what it's for, right?
Annul being able to stop the profs or the FOMO or the Cauldron is a good spread on, when you bring a card like Ghost Vacuum, it's only good against the Cauldron and flashback part of the deck, not against the beatdown draw. Whereas Annul, if it can stop profs, is very, very nice. The problem is that there's a pretty high bar on any non-artifact card in this deck. It is very much a synergy-based deck, so you can't take too much of your plan out. But Annul is good, maybe some more vacuums. Aside from that, not too much. And for your knowledge, Litho Breaking is the Pyroclasm Lander.
Yes, okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. And then from Nathan's side, we have 2 Annuls, 1 Broadside Barrage, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Fire Magic, 3 Obliterating Bolt, 1 Quantum Riddler, 1 Spell Pierce, 2 Torch the Tower, and then 2 Unable to Scream. What do you like from our previous world champion?
So splash damage here. Annul wasn't planning on countering weapons manufacturing or purposing Bay in this tournament, I'm sure, for Nathan, but it is really, really good at doing so. Annul is almost just 1 blue counter target spell against this deck.
It really is.
Which is really powerful. I mean, you pair that with Spell Pierce, that is a lot of cheap interaction on Nathan's side of the board. Other than that, yeah, mostly just those cheap interactive spells, kind of tune the main deck a little bit, maybe go down a little bit on graveyard stuff in the face of all of these Ghost Vacuums.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, Nathan's matchup gets a lot better, which is a little scary for Matthew.
And honestly, that's a lot of, the Izzet Cauldron versus this deck. It's rough to play this sweet Jeskai weapons manufacturing deck when Annul is in every deck because it's good against the best deck. But hey, you do only play 2 post-board games in a match as well. So, all right, before we get into this next game, we got a spicy sale on our hands. Jim, what are we doing this time around?
5% off.
Woo!
Just simple. All singles.
Yeah.
As for Sentinel, that's a single.
5% off it.
Birds of Paradise, that's a single.
5% off.
Goblin Ringwitter.
5% off.
There you go.
For you, 10% extra.
On Goblin Ringwitter?
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. Everyone but Jim Davis.
Where's
gets
the slide
5%
for that?
off. It's a hidden clause.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
it's in your email. Did you check it?
I No.
Okay.
StarCityGames.com/sale. Just very simple. All singles are available, 5% off. Place shorter today.
All right, sounds great. So let's get ready here for game number 2 between these players. Let's see what we got. Do you expect kind of the same thing, or do you think this is going to get a lot easier for Nathan?
I think that things get better for Nathan for sure. I want to go back to that first game. There was a chance to take that Cauldron out. There was the Dusk Rose Reliquary could have hit the Cauldron rather than the FOMO. It's his judgment call there for sure. It's hard to say. Keeping this off the board is pretty cool too. But so tight game. Matthew's deck was kind of doing the thing. But now Nathan has these annuls, has these spell pierces, and of course has, the power of the best deck in the room. So
gotta love it. All right, we're going to take a live look in while these players get ready. Some new technology that we have here at Star City Games. We're taking a look at our D match. This is our Is It Cauldron Mirror, our leader of the tournament, Takeshi. Jim, right now, what's going on? Tell us everything, high level.
King of the Hill. There's a VV with 5 counters on it, and that looks pretty nice. We got a Tursa attack here, picking a card at random from the graveyard to flash back.
Yes. I love that. I was always kind of wondering how this is handled in paper. It's a lot easier when you're online to be able to figure that out. But hitting into the Floodma off that was gigantic.
I imagine that was one of the better hits.
I can imagine. We're just jumping in, and of course we don't know the full extent of this, but now a huge hit for what looks to be 9 coming in, and Takeshi here taking a gigantic hit down to 5.
Problem
with Andrew at 6.
Yes, the problem is Andrew's a 6 here with 1/1/1 blocker, so any removal spell pushes things out of the way. There's also the creature land too, right? I think it's just lethal.
Yeah, and land, creature, enchantment, instant. We have Delirium for this, so yeah, it looks like this is just lethal on board, huh?
A lot of different ways.
Yes, pick your lethal, I will say. And
yep.
All right, Takeshi also playing with my favorite lands of all time, so all right, you go. That's awesome.
I like Andrew's lands.
Yeah, you are old. We've established that.
That's true.
No, those lands are gorgeous.
Don't act like those unhinged hands are recent printing, all right?
Yeah, you're right.
All right? Come on. 15 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, you're right. At this point, I thought I was the new young whippersnapper with these, but I guess that's the Edge of Eternity lands now, huh? And that is going to be game number 2 going there, too. Takeshi, they'll be heading to game number 3, but looks like our main players are going to be ready to go. Really cool stuff being able to take a look at some other matches here.
I love this new, new system. Rather than banning cards or changing things, you just make it so you play against Cauldron. You start with a fish and play. One tap fish starting the game.
I think that's fair. Yep, that's how you nerf not only an amazing player like Nathan Steuer, but the best deck in the room. Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
We're going to need some more fish around here, though.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
All right, looks like Nathan's taking a mulligan here on the draw, and Matthew kept.
And then, if, say, Cauldron wins this tournament, it's a Grizzly Bear token.
Oh, I was going to say 2 fish.
Token. Sure, 2 fish.
Ooh, what do you think, 2 fish or a bear? What do you think's more powerful? Got to be 2 pieces of cardboard, right?
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, night token.
Tell me you're a parent without telling me you're a parent. All right, looking at our second hand, I see an annul. I see 2 Quantum Riddlers, and I see a Soul Cauldron, 1 Riddler to the bottom. And I got to say, Riddler's already amazing, but it makes your mulligan not as bad, too. So, just mulligan down to like 3, and then you get to draw 2 cards off Riddler. Easy.
Yeah, one of the best hallmarks of a Magic card is how good is it when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And Riddler does a really, really good job at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see an annul in Nathan's hand, so, well, whatever Matthew plays, it could be countered and probably will, because that's the thing with this is a Cauldron deck. It's not a tap-out deck by any means, but you do want to be using your mana efficiently in those first 3 turns, so anything that's remotely cool you're going to annul. This is on the lower end of it, though. What do you think? What do you think he does?
I don't think you can annul this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enigma Jewel is it's the pseudo Soul Ring. It taps for 2 mana you can only use to activate things, not cast things.
Wow.
It's a cool piece of the puzzle.
If you were in a Commander game and you had an annul and your opponent cast Soul Ring, though, and you didn't annul it, you would be voted off the island, I believe.
No, I wouldn't. See, you're thinking like a tournament player, Corey.
Yeah.
Commander players want to have fun.
Okay.
Let them just have a Soul Ring. Go cast some spells. Have fun.
Okay.
You have fun. I have fun. We all have fun.
All right, Jim. You're right. You're right. And that is the powerful Is It Bomb here for Murders, I believe. Yeah, the Gleaming Gear Drake making its way into Standard, which is pretty impressive. A card you really can't play when you're trying to play only 3 mana artifacts or bigger with the Construct Maker.
Yeah, and again, that's why I love the build of this deck, because the Synthesizer, it's such a powerful card. It has never really found any success in the last, like, two-ish years. I remember Pro Tour Outlaws, I tried so many Synthesizer decks.
Did you?
But the problem is when you're building your deck with all 3s in it, anytime your draw goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
When you build a deck of all 1 and 2s, that's a much better place to be.
Yeah, those really heavy deck building requirements, are just really brutal. I mean, collected company decks fall under that. Like, you can't sideboard too much because you break up companies. Those kind of things make it really tough to play that type of deck. But when your payoff is so good and it's doing something so powerful like collected company, you're okay with it still. All right, Sacred Foundry tapped. Let's see what Matthew has. And just a pass back. Mako drawn. We see another land, a Quantum Riddler, and some other goodies here in Nathan Steuer's hand.
Yeah, it's amazing how much more tame this deck looks without profs in play.
Yeah, no kidding. A 3-mana 2/2 Vigilance. Nice.
Not quite Sarah Angel.
No, not quite, not quite. Sarah Angel at home, I guess?
Small Sarah Angel.
Mako as the follow-up, plus another land, and looks like Nathan is really trying to squeeze all the value out of this Quantum Riddler, and I love this. I think that other card is in a braid, so, we're cooking. You ready for this, Jim? Looks like we're lining up a braid at end step, and then untap, Quantum Riddler, get down to 1 card, draw 2, FOMO, draw 2. We've basically tidings.
Corey, you got to calm down.
I can't.
Right.
These are my favorite turns. The Riddler warp turns are way too exciting.
You can't see Corey right now, but he's floating 2 feet in the air off his seat right now. He's just glowing.
I'm a fan. Riddler is so busted, and I just love that decks are really, picking up steam on that card.
So Collector's Vault for Matthew. Kind of a cool, finicky little card. It's a looter. It makes some treasures. Definitely a piece of the machine, not a primary piece, but does play very well with the Enigma Jewel. Jewel tapping to add mana for it, so kind of just taps for free, kind of essentially.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of the card that replaced a card that Nathan's going to be very familiar with. What was the vehicle that drew 3 cards? Ended up getting banned in Standard.
Smuggler's Copter?
Yes, thank you. The other 2-mana one.
Reckoner Bankbuster.
Bankbuster, yeah, absolutely. Bankbuster, right after Bankbuster got taken out, Collector's Vault came in, and everyone's like, it's the same. And then people played with it, and they're like, it's not the same.
It's pretty different.
Yeah.
You take about 4 notches of power off the card, and then, yes, the cards do both draw cards for 2 mana and 2 mana.
Mm-hmm. Bankbuster was the card that Nathan used along with the help of other Rakdos cards, Invoke Despair and Friends, at the Pro Tour that he won right after his World Championship victory.
We're going to talk about that Pro Tour.
Yeah, you did pretty well. I believe you started off pretty okay in your first 12 rounds or so. Is that correct? Is that the one?
It was the first 8 rounds, but...
First 8 rounds, okay. Gotcha. Ooh. A braid on
the Enigma Jewel, going after the mana here.
Interesting. Instead of the Ghost Vacuum. I would have expected Ghost Vacuum, wouldn't you? I mean, we don't have that stuff right now, but you have a fear of missing out.
It depends. It's the kind of thing where this VV deck is just so good at playing this fair game. I almost don't mind just saying, all right, sure, I don't have a graveyard, whatever.
Yeah. Nathan just top decked the best and worst possible top deck here. Annul. It's so good in the matchup, but it does not enable the Riddler turns. I'm out of here.
Corey has levitated back down to his chair.
Yeah.
He is now sitting once again.
I'm slumped, if you will. So now, you can Riddler, draw cards, see what's up, and then, maybe still get your 2 cards off FOMO, but otherwise you're just doing nothing here. And wow, that is what Nathan wanted to do. That is surprising to me.
Yeah, this game is very, very different than Game 1.
Yeah.
Both players, Game 1 had really, really good draws, really got set up quickly. This game is the exact opposite. A 1-1 and a 2-2 for Nathan, and then a couple finicky artifacts for Matthew, no real engine pieces.
This is Nathan trying to soak every bit of value out of his cards here and saying, you know what, this annul is going to be awesome. It's kind of going to be a time walk here. As he's going to counter whatever Matthew plays as long as it's somewhat relevant.
This is taking some of the wind out of Annul's sails, though, because what makes Annul so good is how cheap it is.
Yeah.
And leaving up 4 mana, only planning on using 1 of it, making Annul cost 4 is not as exciting, but still a pretty good hit here.
Yep, absolutely. And looks like we might have some counterplay here from Matthew. Is this a negate?
Ooh.
Sure is. Legion Extruder. So Annul was actually just factually the worst possible top deck as it led to this exchange instead of just drawing cards.
It's funny how that's kind of like the hidden luck in Magic. Where, if you can't see both players' hands, you don't really necessarily feel that.
Yeah.
But for sure, huge game-changing effect.
Okay, let's see what we drew. I think that's a Prof's Eidetic Memory.
It's a good place to start.
Big fan.
And now with the Extruder in play, though, now the machine's starting to roll. So now these random junky treasures. Oh!
Once again, the worst possible top deck here, except this time, the Riddler. 2 mana, draw 2. Divination 2.0. Oh, all right, draw 3 would have been a little too good.
He's a world champ. He can draw 3 if he wants to.
Not sure how that's or if that's how it works, but 1 damage getting in. Quantum Riddler gonna hang out in the void over there.
It's like when you level up your character in a game.
Yeah.
The more wins you get, the better you are. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now my card draws 4 cards.
There you go. I thought you only watched Lord of the Rings. I didn't know you played games where you level up like Final Fantasy.
Moving on. I will not say you shall not pass again.
Yeah, I mean, that really, really bit you there. That's for sure. So another Vault activation. Trying to find some goods. This has been an extremely reactive game so far. No player really getting ahead. And eventually the dominoes will fall as Nathan did pick up Vivi. But hey, remember when Ghost Vacuum did not die? Now leaves Vivi not the ability to kind of do the thing in the graveyard, but hey, you can just cast that card.
Yeah, and this is where the Riddler really shines. In these post-sideboard, things get messy. It's just a standard hallmark of Magic overall. Interactive cards come in, decks aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and your games get scrappy and messy. And that's where the raw power of a card like Riddler, which played fully straight up might be like a little bit slow and not linear enough, really gets to explode. Just, hey, I was playing this card that draws a bunch of cards, and it's a huge flyer.
Yeah. The amount of times I actually cast the front side, the big part of Riddler here versus warping it, it's probably like 8 to 10. Like 8 times I warp it, 2 times I actually cast it. Fear of missing out, getting a counter on both creatures. Spell Pierce to the Yard, that ended up being a little invalidated here pretty quickly. And just a pass back. 1 card left in hand. We know it's a Vivi. And no attack here as that Extruder can make some golems. Can and will. I mean, this Collector's Vault Extruder, is that how I say that? Yeah, Legion Extruder combo here is pretty nice. You just pay 4 mana, you draw a card and discard, and you make a 3/3. That's pretty good value.
Yeah, this deck is really good at having a lot of junk laying around to sacrifice.
Yep, absolutely.
And Legion Extruder is one of those cards we were talking about where, it's been legal for a while. Hasn't really had a home yet. And it's a very powerful card.
Very powerful.
Yeah, 2 mana Shock and Artifact Creation Engine is awesome.
Yeah.
But didn't really have a home, and this deck is the perfect home for it.
Yeah, a lot of those Brothers War Special Guest, I believe they were called. I don't know the exact branding of them, but those kind of bonus cards that you wouldn't get in every kind of pack are just powerful. I mean, the one that puts a counter on something and you get to play a spell for free, the hideaway kind of thing, that was incredible. So some really nice stuff here from Brothers War with these artifact synergies.
I think it's the big score.
Yes.
From Outlaws.
There we go. There we go.
Going for the big score.
Big score. Quantum Riddler here drew 2 cards here. So for 7 mana, you got a 4/6 flyer, and you drew 4 cards.
Muldrifter, eat your heart out.
It's Muldrifter and Tidings combined. Oh.
I do like both those cards.
Ooh. If you know what Tidings is, well, your lower back probably hurts,
But you also have a handful of cards.
Yeah. So nothing else matters.
Yep.
All right, doing another looting, discarding more canals. Matthew has discarded a lot of lands, so leads me to believe that we're doing a little bit of flooding. But hey, whenever you are just flooding out, you have that ability, 4 mana, make a 3/3.
That is a lot of lands.
All right, here is the fear of missing out. Riddler plays. I'm back to bouncing in my seat. Draw 2. Boom. Another FOMO. Jim, we're doing it. Jim, we're doing it.
I'm watching the game, Corey. I can see what's happening. I would like to see Matthew draw non-land, all right?
Yeah. So there's a Soulstone Sanctuary and Vivi in hand. So if this resolves, you have 2 cards in hand, but you discard 1, and then you have 1. And then you will get to draw 2. Wow, buzzkill.
Yeah, so clearly Matthew's hand was a lot of lands and reactive cards, the annuls. And that's what I was saying, where once every annul you add, every non-artifact you add, it's not a part of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a machine deck. This is like that wants to get this full machine set up with all these moving parts. And, you have an annul, it's not part of that.
Yep. That's how I feel about the Pixie, is it Cauldron matchup now too, is they have to bring in so many cards to deal with your problematic things that their deck doesn't function in the same way anymore and makes those post-board games just look so weird. And I think this is a similar realm.
That being said, there is an army of 3/3s here.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Also, this Ghost Vacuum, you kind of forget that Ghost Vacuum has an extra ability on it.
Yep.
It's only 6 mana, and you get a bunch of 1/1 flyers that are each creature on there. There's already 2 there. It's a FOMO and a Steam Core Scholar, I believe.
Yeah.
And you get the ETB effects. So you get to draw some cards, do some stuff.
Then you do lose it, so if Vivi ever goes into the graveyard, you get to do the thing again, so there's a cost, of course. But yeah, every once in a while you see those Ghost Vacuum second activations actually come up.
For sure.
Torch the tower on Vivi.
No graveyard here.
Straight to the exile. And we'll see. Really no great. I mean, I guess the attacks aren't terrible, but man, if you attack and then all of a sudden your opponent is able to get Delirium, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the vacuum in play, that's will be reasonably difficult. And this is a pretty big army, now there is no fodder left to sacrifice. I wouldn't necessarily just hate sacrificing the vault if necessary. So there's an army of 3/3s, but the Riddler is still in the air. And then once again, Matthew's also just at 7. And you kind of glance down and you go, oh, that's kind of a precarious life total. When did that happen, A little shot here, a little shot there. And the lower Matthew is, the more of these flyers really, really look threatening.
100%. So instant and land pretty far away from Delirium. You could put a FOMO in there and that would be straight away, but not the easiest thing to do. Vivi number 2, Electric Boogaloo plus a Soulstone Sanctuary coming down to just make even more pressure. And man, this Riddler has just done it. This game.
This is what we were saying. The game gets scrappy and ugly, kind of a board stall. Both decks aren't really doing what they want to be doing. But there's just this big thing, but that's just 2 or 3 cards.
Yeah.
It's act for 4.
And I mean, even more, when you have 1 card in your hand, you're still drawing a card in your draw step.
Yep.
Pretty cute. So it drew 6 cards. Well, yeah, it essentially drew 6 cards.
All right, well, Snare will take care of it, so that problem is gone. But now all the cards that it created get to kind of come into play here.
That's true. Speed 1 with Keanu and Sandra Bullock should be on the battlefield here, though, but it truly does not really matter in this deck. It can come up.
Oh,
there it is. Okay.
Ooh, that is a nice little, I like the little checklist there.
I like that, too.
That's cool.
I like that, too.
But we need a picture of Keanu Reeves on it.
I think so.
We need that, so we get a...
Or at least the bus.
Ooh, the bus is cool.
The villain, I forget his name. An incredible actor, though. Him, too.
Who was the villain? Was it, Alan Rickman?
I don't know. Maybe chat, you can help us out. But he was phenomenal in that movie.
I'm thinking of Die Hard, maybe. I don't know. I'm
probably
embarrassing
You're
myself.
probably thinking of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All right, here's a big old attack coming in. Send the team. Wow, this is interesting. I mean, these are 2/3 FOMOs.
Yes, a lot of 2/3s and 3/3s attacking into a bunch of 3/3s. Of course, any discard effect in combat, the Makos get bigger and things get really ugly.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Makos. I'm worried about the FOMOs. But yeah, I mean, I guess when you're at 3, you're just going for the kill here. So that is going to be 4 blockers. And I guess, yeah, the blocks are 100% forced. So you have to block. 1 FOMO will die. Matthew will go down to 1 with an active Vivi. Okay, this is looking like it's just GG here. any spell from Nathan, and we get it done. Everything dies on Nathan's side except the FOMO that got through. And one of the golems should stay, though.
It's there on the left.
Oh, yep. Okay, gotcha. And here is probably one spell to put Nathan Steuer through. We will find out.
Again, interestingly enough, they're
Dennis Hopper, of course. That's right.
Dennis Hopper. There we go.
So good. So good.
Man.
Okay.
It's interesting to note, though, the VV deck is very creature heavy. You know, this is not a deck full of ops and sleight of hands. You know, so there aren't actually that many spells. So
yeah. And there's not one right now. So, hey, if we can deal with the VV, the board is stabilized.
Yeah, that was a pretty calculated risk there from Nathan. Like,
it really was.
You know, where
I mean, it only gets worse, though, right? Because Matthew is making a creature every turn. Nathan is not. So I like getting in the damage here when you can.
Yeah.
One spell is a lot easier to find than 3 spells.
All right, there's the manufacturing. A little bit late to work here.
Yeah.
If this had been available, you know.
Spell.
Any of the prior
Boom. Winter Night Stories sends Nathan Steuer to 8-3, and still what I would think would be live maybe, you know, at 7-3, that could be a little brutal for your tiebreakers, but I'm definitely not going to